There's groups like Safe Streets, Industry Initiative Project, and Tree Huggers in the Group Industry. But they're doing it. And we read our equity and liberation statement. This space exists for the people, particularly those who have been historically excluded from access to safe and affirming environments. Inspired by our commitment to self-determination, we uphold the right of all people to exist without fear, to build strong communities, and to reclaim spaces that have been denied to them. Discrimination, violence, or exploitation of any kind will not be tolerated. So, some first housekeeping things. Thank you. Oh, cool, yeah. As everybody kind of follows in, I'll kind of do some like quick housekeeping things. So we've got like water here, and sometimes we have like access stuff. There's filters, masks if you need them up here. We have other resources out in the front room right here, like the reception area and the room to walk off. And we have a bathroom around the corner. There's like arrows that we've left up here. It's kind of been pretty useful to kind of punch through the yes. Thank you.
Did you?
I'm just sorry. So,
No,
some of you will see on your
I didn't
agendas,
see you
we
text
have
me.
a, oh, yeah. Here's the phone. Oh,
Okay.
demographic sheet.
I'm sorry.
If you wouldn't mind filling
I'm
it out,
sorry.
it's like, if you are coded, the very top. Just like the week,
Do you want to do that every time, or like if I've done it once?
It's every time. It's kind of like an attendance sheet to say you can start arguing this one.
Should we like, just like to put it in the chat, so you just like the.
Okay, scan the code.
It's in the chat. I think Stacy is handling the chat right now.
Okay, see. Thank you, Stacey.
Mhm. So I need to scan that code right there to show
If you
that.
don't have a device, we do have a clipboard that's going around if you want to just find the clipboard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah? It's okay, sorry. I'm gonna do my best at this. I'm really bad at this. We saw. Thank you so much. Yeah. Cool, okay. I'm gonna do yeah. So, this month, it starts like the beginning of our busy season.
Yes.
And, yeah, you're gonna see us outside so much, even in the past like couple weeks. Yeah. So it's been, really great, and we all have like different missions and goals that we've had, like, to get awareness and to like kind of open ourselves up to new things. Like we had a show, we had a sleep to launch a concert. We had an air purifier building event that you can also read about this on like the one this and that's kind of a bigger one. So we have a smaller space somewhere. Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Now
I'm
she
sorry.
clean up.
There's a purple one over there. And that was a pretty
That's
good
the
thing.
same lady that was.
There's a couple of the people that are like interested in having us play the organ, so thanks to Asphalt, especially, not on anything. So thank you so much for that. We also had the firearms training event with Alicia. That was really cool. I think that's participating in that. And we learned a lot about like safety, demonstration, what that can look like in other forms of blinding issues or firearms over other forms of protection. And I love that. That was a good experience. I was really good. I'm listening. Oh, we did the Trans-Day Visibility at the Wildflower Center School. I hope I'm saying that right. That was on Sunday. Morgan and I went to that. That was a whole lot of fun. We were like packed into a space. There was like a drag show. There was like a clothing swap that was also in there. It was, yeah, you guys were with us. We were sitting right next to us. It was a whole lot of fun. You got to see us. It was great. You got to see us get photo. I had like the shiny purple drink. Yeah. And so we're getting active, as you can see, and this is going to continue. So we're going to be posting on all our social medias like Facebook and Instagram, so you can keep up with us with these. Oh, cool. We like to use beautiful, like, green, orange backgrounds on all our posts so you can't miss it. It's bold letters. It's really nice, kind of like this baby. We have disbursement report for this last month. We got 500, we passed out 532 intranasal naloxone, 276 intramuscular naloxone, 768 fentanyl test strips, 280 xylazine test strips, and 298 pen
Yes.
It won't stop. Yeah. Thank you all for helping us get that out there too. We couldn't have done it without your help. It's like a community effort to get this done. So thank you all too. We have upcoming events. Do we have them?
If you go to our website, it's going to say streets, we'll open up the next tab and go to safestreets.org. And show folks where they can see all of our upcoming events on the website. Scroll down and maybe a calendar. Check the calendar. We have to update the calendar, so maybe it's not on there yet, but if you're online, there's a link, and then also if I email you, I can send you the link to the agenda that has a listing of all of our events. But off the top of our head, we've got Open Streets coming up.
Yes, we have Open Streets coming up, and we also have the Blooming Balloon, the Wish Family, I think, on the 19th. That's all I can think of right now.
There's a volunteer training next Thursday.
Yes, the 10th. Thank you so much, John. We have a volunteer training. It's at 6, right? That's the 16th. So please come to that. Love to get everybody started with this so we can have a streamlined way of getting folks on board with volunteers.
That one's a bit full, so if you do want to go through a training with us, you have 3 other dates. Just go to our social media, our link to our website. All of these things are listed.
I'm going to open this link up here for volunteer opportunities. I think that link is also in the chat, but I just want to show everybody what we do have coming up if you're hiring volunteers. So this is going to be like your training, like the sign up and training perspective, like what you can expect and like it's just a quick review. This is going to be like the link that we have, like they're really good. The onboarders are basically it's all those things. The 10th is the one that we posted though, but the other 2 dates come out there. So please, click that link, get signed up with us, we'd love to see you. The community partner updates with Charlie and United Way. You just want to give
Come on in,
me
Shiley, and give us your update. Just give, you can keep that open. If you scroll down, there's a flyer at the bottom, yeah. And you can make it bigger if you, the mouse kind of, there you go.
Hi everyone, I'm Shiley. I'm with the Coalition to End Homelessness in Wichita and Central County. I am helping the city plan the Greater Wichita Housing Conference. It's a 2-day event. It's free. It's come and go as well. I know a lot of us work, so you don't have to attend every session. You can pick which ones are of interest to you, hop in, leave, do what you do. We're also offering a fair housing training during this conference. That portion's not free, it's an 8-hour training. But if you have anyone in your connections that owns property, that rents to people, that's where we really want to get into that training, because normally it's very expensive and not required, but we're offering it for a very reduced rate, so they can get fair housing training under their belt. So we'd love to see more of that in our rental community. I also have a list of panels that are going to be presented on. I can share that. We're inviting Mandy Chapman Simple to come present She does homeless work in Houston. She's done amazing things out there. They've reduced their unsheltered homelessness by 64%. And so we really want to learn from her and see what we can bring back to Wichita and replicate. So that's a really exciting presentation I encourage everyone to go to. We have others on unpacking the cost of homelessness and housing. That one, we're going to really talk about the economic impacts. So we really want to try to get decision makers in there, the folks that are involved in policy work. What else do we have? A lot on housing resources, not necessarily just for the homeless, but also for homeowners. It's really to encompass everything that is housing in Wichita. I will email this out too, because there's like 20 things on here. Y'all don't listen to me talk. A list of 20+ items. But I definitely encourage you to come. I'll share the whole schedule with Safe Streets so they can share it out as well. And I'll share my contact info as well if you guys want to get on that newsletter. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next we have the Farmers Club, who is over at ICT Tree Foundation Center. I'm sorry. Oh, we're just talking about the Farm Expo?
Oh, no,
Okay. You can say that.
Hello, y'all.
Hey.
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 Hey, my name's Sarah Myers. I'm Executive Director of the ICT Tree Helpers. We focus on environmental stewardship and the issues of food scarcity, growing gardens, vibing outside, wellness, global initiatives, helping reduce plastic waste. So, urban tree communities are just interested in, or enjoying the tribe on the ringside. The Farm Expo in Salina, that was, what day was that? It was this week. It was last week? I don't remember what it was, but it was really, enlightening. There was so much technology there. Primarily, the takeaway for me, as the urban farmer and executive director, there were a lot of big business and big agricultural companies there. There wasn't a lot of options as far as assistance, collaboration, or funding opportunities for smaller organizations, for nonprofits. From what I noticed, it was really just, I feel like just a lot of the energy companies taking individuals and putting them in spaces to find farmers to help with the renewable energy of wind farming. So learned more about how to sell land and in order to get energy because of a huge power bank that Kansas is tied to. And are you familiar with it? Does anyone know? Yeah, but we're
Interesting.
all our wind energy.
Interesting.
And, you know the name of it? No.
I sure will find out.
Well, if you're watching online, drop it in the chat.
We can find it and put it in a minute.
Okay. So within that, it was fun to see all of the different types of technology and large outsources that brings more diversity as well. farmers.
Yeah, there. Yeah. She's trying to, yeah.
Come join us let's go next week. Yes.
And there was a fair warning for nurses Wichita to like plant things and program, right? Like,
Yeah, I ran into a gentleman, he knew quite a bit about the soil pollution problem in North Wichita. He assisted with mapping out all the vapor, like the vapor testing tubes that they bury down into the soil to see where water flows. So that's how they were able to get the consensus of the pollution stopping in Central. But, you know, they were able to, I'm not sure if they like stopped doing that, but he assured me in his 20-something years of assisting and mapping out those projects that we need to be very intentional about the soil and really making sure that we plant and raise beds. So it goes much further than just local gardening, working together. We really have to be intentional about how we can get remediation for the environment. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
I had a-
Hi, I'm Brian. I'm one of the ICT.
I had a question.
300 leads. I just wanted to pick out Saturday morning gardening. We have a coffee social at 8 a.m. and then we kind of disperse into the gardening networks. Tuesday also is a similar thing. So next week on Tuesdays, we do coffee social and then jump out into community gardening stuff. So you can guarantee we'll be here doing some gardening. So if you're looking for something to do, catch us Tuesday morning, Saturday morning. And we'll definitely be getting ourselves activated.
Since grassroots bridge builders are doing things, how can we help tree huggers? And can y'all help us?
The question was, how can we help each other?
Mm-hmm.
Really assess your needs and just meeting the needs of the community. Really come to our events on Tuesdays and Saturdays to help us get the community active, either in the gardening sense, helping us talk to people in the community, making them aware about what's happening and what we're doing. It just shows so much support. Also coming to our wellness commissions and taking time for yourself. I know we are busy bees running around Wichita doing all the things, but we do have to be intentional about taking care of our bodies. So again, just coming to support our programs and initiatives, it helps a lot. And just let us know what we need. We find so many things sustainably. It's nuts.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Sarah.
just read it off. Do you have one up there?
Okay. And do you see the youth substance misuse survey, one that we had last one before, still available to you, if you're interested in people online also.
Yes.
And our last presenter is Carla from the speech training with ICT, helping you a little bit. And I said, I put the words on my name.
Hi, everybody. Hello again, if we haven't met. I am Donna Castillo Garcia. I am Executive Director of Grassroots Bridge Builders. We are homelessness advocacy and peer navigation services. Miss Sarah is one of our bridge builders. She is the leader of our peer-to-peer outreach. So she's handing out a little survey. We have a pre and a post survey as well as a handout. So I will give a little bit of housekeeping. we're gonna be talking about trauma today. So trauma is a universal human experience, but it doesn't mean that it's comfortable, especially when you start talking about it. What we do is we come from a trauma-informed care approach, meaning that we care about what happened in your past and try to be sensitive to it, and we try to not re-trigger any trauma that you have experienced previously. And that's kind of what we want to share with you today. So just a quick show of hands. Is anyone currently a volunteer with like a marginalized or vulnerable population? Yes, I see a couple. Okay, anybody interested in this kind of work? Okay, awesome. And then trauma, like I said, is universal. So even if this isn't your bag, it's going to help you with every single aspect of your life. Okay, so let's get started. I'm marking my 2 laptops here, so yeah, let's have some fun. Okay, so of course, welcome. Thank you guys for being here and online. It's nice to see you. Hi. So today we're focusing on trauma. Trauma-informed care is a framework for recognizing, understanding, and responding to trauma with compassion and effectiveness. So we have some objectives for this session. We want to increase your awareness. We want to understand the wide impact of trauma, especially in those marginalized populations. Recognize how trauma shapes behavior, communication, and engagement with care. We want to build practical skills. We want to learn how to identify trauma responses in individuals that we're serving. Practice applying trauma-informed care strategies and reducing harm and promoting healing. And we want to explore real-world examples and do some role-playing exercises to reinforce learning. So we're going to play some games later. Woo, engagement. Okay. So we want to support the workers and your well-being. We want to discuss the risks of secondary trauma, things like burnout, compassion fatigue. We want to review some self-care tools and techniques to support your own emotional health and set realistic boundaries so that you can continue to be supportive in your role. What I want you to walk away with is understanding what the core principles of trauma-informed care are, strategies to reduce re-traumatization and increase trust, tools to recognize signs of trauma and respond empathetically, and of course you've got your little handout there with a bunch of resources to continue your own learning if you're interested. All right. So why does this matter? Why do we care about trauma? Well, 90% of individuals in behavioral health settings have experienced trauma. About 98% of people who are homeless have experienced at least one episode of a traumatic event. Marginalized populations are impacted by poverty, racism, discrimination, and general adversity are disproportionately affected by trauma. And it often goes unrecognized. This leads to re-traumatization through our rigid or routine interactions of service practices. So behaviors often labeled as non-compliant or difficulty may actually be survival mechanisms. Without a trauma-informed approach, service systems may unintentionally escalate in distress and erode trust among people that they're trying to serve. And recognizing trauma shifts our responses from frustration to empathy. We want to be leading with compassion and have better outcomes. So our roles as participants are to equip and empower. We want to equip community healthcare workers and volunteers to identify trauma and respond accordingly. We've got goals to increase your awareness and your understanding of what trauma is and how prevalent it is. We intend this audience for those serving vulnerable populations, especially those working with homelessness, or people in behavioral health crisis. Our framework, of course, is evidence-based, trauma-informed practice that's aligned with public health and behavioral care guidelines. We want participants to be able to recognize trauma indicators, apply sensitive strategies, and have better communication with care. And of course, we want to reduce re-traumatization settings. Gotta get my extra opinions up here. Okay, so what is trauma? So trauma is not just a bad experience. It's a response to overwhelming stress that exceeds your ability to cope and to feel fit. It creates lasting emotional, physical, and neurological effects. It's not because someone is weak, but it's a nervous system that's trying to protect itself. Common causes of trauma are things like childhood abuse and neglect, domestic or community violence, sexual assault or exploitation, poverty and chronic instability, racial discrimination and systemic oppression, and homelessness or forced displacement. Trauma is defined by a person's experience. It's not about the event, it's really about how the event was experienced and internalized by that person. What overwhelms one person may not cause a traumatic event in another person. There are different types of trauma. There can be individualized trauma where
She's clicking away.
personal experiences or harm. You can also have community trauma. We're gonna get on the same page here. So community trauma, things that are widespread and affect large groups or neighborhoods, things like violence or natural disasters. Generational trauma that's passed to family members, often related to historical oppression, things like colonization, slavery, or war. And in practice, trauma is especially common in the marginalized communities that we see and are working with. And without this lens, this trauma-informed lens, a lot of people will misinterpret behaviors and cause re-traumatization and extra harm that doesn't need to be happening. This is why we want you to understand trauma so that we can respond with empathy. Yeah. All right. So, trauma leaves the lasting impact, like I said. It doesn't just affect our emotions. It has physical changes, like how the brain functions. Understanding these changes will help us to respond with empathy rather than judgment, especially with working with individuals with chronic and toxic stress or adversity. Trauma impacts brain function. This helps us to understand why people act the way they do. So let's talk a little bit brain science. Okay?
My
So
phone's
the
gonna go
amygdala,
dead,
that's
so
the brain's alarm system.
sorry.
It acts as the
Y'all not
fear
gonna get the
center
whole
and
show today.
constantly scans for
But this is
threats.
Shorty with the high sun.
In
Yeah.
trauma, these
Tune it out.
behaviors become hyperactive in trauma survivors. Everyday stressors may feel like danger, triggering fight, flight, or freeze responses. This may explain why someone will appear reactive, defensive, or easily overwhelmed with what may seem simple to you or me. The hippocampus is the memory and time processing center. It supports and organizes memories and helps us distinguish the past from the present. When someone is traumatized, this area can be impaired. It leads to